So from Ira Glass, I jumped to the BBC because it's radio, is National Public Radio. So I jumped to BBC. Okay, maybe this guy is just a freak. This guy is just an outlier. He's not a good example. Let's cross the Atlantic and see what the BBC is doing. And it's really interesting. If you go to the BBC website, they have what you expect, like breaking news, the stock market, and the riots in Paris, and all that stuff. That's expected. But they also have a lot of articles on culture and identity and like weird things that you normally wouldn't associate with the BBC. And they also have something, the research and development, the R&D website, where they have projects that they start and they share with people, with everybody, available to it's open to the public, and then you can go and vote if you like it or not and give feedback. So only the projects that get enough positive feedback continue and the other ones die. But it's a perfect democracy. It's just only by the people who vote about those projects, who enjoy the project. And they also have something called StoryArc, which is a story database. It's free, and you go there and you enter a plot, and then it will give you ideas for free. It will feed you ideas for plots based on their database. So that's super cool, and that's Story Explorer. That's something else. So you can spend a week just on these pages alone. Really interesting stuff. This is Taster. That's the website where they have immersive stories, and then 3.5 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, based on how many people voted, upvoted or downvoted the story. And from the lessons from the BBC is write short stories. People like very short stories, to the point, like you start and finish. Fewer words is often better. Good sound is essential for all the stories. And silence can be a powerful tool. This is something that I didn't think about until I was researching the BBC. How when you have soundscapes and music and dialogue and everything else, and then you have silence, wow, you notice the silence because it's there. It's the same with camera movement. When things are moving a lot and then you don't have any movement, then it's more impactful than when you don't have it. Use only your best images. This applies to all of you. Sometimes we are emotionally attached to our images, and then so we use them because it took us 4 hours in the rain and it was freezing cold. But that's one reason why I often prefer to work with an editor. I shoot something and I give the hard drive to my editor because they are objective. They are like looking for the best stuff. They don't care how long it took me. They don't care how cold it was. They don't care about how many problems we had with the cards and the hard drives. They don't care. They're just looking, is this the right image for this story or not? That's it. And it's often a hard conversation when they are like, yeah, this sucks. I mean, you don't have enough. You have to go back, or you're missing something. And they're like, wow, it's not good for your ego, but it's good for the story, which is what matters. And distill your story into one sentence. This applies to everybody here. Whatever you're doing, cinema, photography, whatever you're doing, explain your project in one sentence. And ideally, that sentence shouldn't be more than 7 to 9 words. For the digital distillery, to say those 9 words, it took me like 4 weeks or 5 weeks. If it's a digital distillery, how can we distill the message of what we do, our statement, into one sentence, 7 to 9 words? Interviewing, this is for the BBC also, might not be relevant to all of you, but ask short questions, ask good questions. If the person is not telling you interesting things, it's probably because you're not asking interesting questions. That happens a lot, and it happens in life too. This is a technique that I learned from the BBC that I have been using on interviews. The interviewee says something, and you didn't get enough, so you just don't say anything. It's like, okay. And they're like, well, let me explain. And then they keep going, and then they give you a little bit more, which is great. Viewer, reader, listener, this is also really interesting. it's not only about what are we trying to tell, but what do you think they, the viewer, the reader, the listener, wants to know. So in your story, if they interview, what do you think they want to see? What do they want? What kind of pictures? What kind of music? What kind of transitions? What kind of story? What kind of ending? Speak to them, not at them. Have a conversation. Don't explain the obvious. But at the same time, explain what they can't see. So when you see a bottle of wine, it's like, okay, this is a bottle of wine. It's like, yeah, I know, I'm seeing the bottle of wine. But what you don't know is that this bottle of wine is organic. And it's organic because blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, that I cannot see. So I'm explaining that, but not that this is a bottle of wine.